What's up, YouTube? Exit here again in the world of Paragon. We're going to go over some decks. The first deck I want to show you guys is an aggressive support deck, which can not only be used with any character you can think of in the support lane. You can also use it with a mid laner. You can use it for your jungle. You can use it for anything. But I specifically designed this to be used in the support lane. Now, the first card you're gonna get is this one. As soon as you get 1,000 more gold, you're gonna get your healing towers, because it's important for you to be able to heal yourself. The next card you're going to get is Mana Flow Acolyte. Reason being is because it increases your power and your max mana by 0.5% for each point that you spend in the intellect tree. Now, there is a catch-22 with this card, okay? There is a glitch to it, and it is not a beneficial glitch. If you do not allow the animation to what's the word for it, complete before you hit the X button again to spend your next point, you will be missing out on all the stacks that you can put on this card. Okay, so when you hit X once, let the card show up and spin and disappear. Hit X again, let the card show up and spin, disappear, and so on. Otherwise, you will be missing out stacks at the end of the game. You want to keep this card all the way through the game. Do not get rid of this card. Now, the next card that you want to focus on getting, I mean, you can get all these other cards while you're waiting, but the next card that you want to focus on getting is this card. Reason being is because of the power gain that you get. You gain power equal to 1% of your max mana, and this also has a stacking ability on it to increase your mana by 300. Now, that's not very impressive. However, the synergy between this card and this card goes a long way with this gem. This is your second gem in your gem tree, and I'll go over those at the end when I've covered the last card in this deck. But you get 1.2 mana for every monster or minion that you kill. So, and I'm pretty certain that it works for jungle minions as well. Pretty certain. So that's a lot of mana at late game that you're gonna have, which is going to increase your power by a substantial amount. And of course, what I like to call the most annoying card in the world as a support. You should have this, and really it's beneficial to have even if you're not a support. Honestly, to be 100% honest, this card is going to secure you or your team a kill. Say there's someone who's like severely overpowered, like they've been fed the entire game and they're like 17-0 and they've just been wrecking you. Next team fight you get into and you have this card, you bug them. For 3 seconds, they're just at your mercy. They're gonna die. Alright, so these are the three main cards. Your Mana Acolyte, this, and your bug card. Now, I have other combinations that I use in here. However, this is the most important one. The 13, this 7, and this 3. Alright, now we'll go over the gems. So you want a mana potion, your deadly mana. That's really what makes this deck, makes or breaks this deck, really, with those three cards, is excuse me, the amount of mana that you have at the end of the game. Also, we have Spellburn. Your abilities deal bonus damage equal to 2% of the enemy's current health over 3 seconds. So it's nice to have. Also, you deal an additional 1.1% ability damage for every 10% of the hero's missing health. That's nice to have. And we have a proc attack here. And I'll go over another 3-card synergy here in just a moment with this deck. After casting an ability, the next basic attack with this within 3 seconds deals 174 ability damage. Alright, so that's a proc attack. Now, there are some other proc attacks that you can use in this. And the ones that I use sometimes I'll go this card, and this card, depending on which character I'm using, or this card, and this card. It's always fun to switch up the deck every now and then, but mainly as a support, you're going to want that card, and that card. And it works all the way around with any character you can think of. But mainly, say you got a Chimera, right? And your proc attack, you get to these proc attacks on all of them, except for this card. This one's one that you can turn on and off, but it's well worth having. You already get a proc attack from this, so like once, say you use your jump, as soon as you jump on the Chimera, and you're already right there at the enemy, your first hit is going to deal 174 bonus ability damage. Alright? Now this card right here, after using an ability, your next basic attack will deal 125 ability damage in an area and slow the move speed of targets hit by it by 30% for 1.5 seconds. So that's 125. This one's 174, and then you've got this proc attack. It deals 50 plus 5 times the player level. The highest level you can get is 20, so 5 times 20 is 100, so that's 150. So you're looking at, when you jump on someone, 150 proc damage from this that you can toggle on and off. Automatic, you're going to do 125 with this card if you have it, and automatic if it's late game and you're at full build and you have this gem, another 174. That is a lot of damage. That is not even including what your basic attack is. Alright, so yeah, you're already doing about 400 damage in one hit. So it's really nice to have. And what better combination to use it in than this right here? You get to bug them for 3 seconds, and you just get to lay into them. First hit you lay on them is going to be a very devastating hit. So, and any ability that you use afterwards, of course, the procs still are going. So enough of that. Next deck, I would like to go over a jungle deck. And let's see here. So with jungle, this also can be used with anybody, any jungler. It doesn't matter. But this is mainly a damage deck. So first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna get jungle lifesteal. This will keep you at full health the entire time that you're running around farming in the jungle at low levels. Plus, if you're like Chimera and then you get the lifesteal with that, his L1, yeah, you'll be at full health the entire time. You'll always be ready for a gank, which is important. Alright, so you want to hold on to this card till you have about 6,000 gold. Do not base. There shouldn't be a need for you to base unless you messed up on a gank or, you know, something like that. You want to stay in the jungle and farm on the right hand side of your map where the green shield buff is. You just want to keep going around in a circle right there until you have about 6k. 6k gold. And then what you get is you're going to put 3 in your agility tree and 3 in your vitality tree. And you're going to get your jungle card. And you're going to keep this card in the process. That's why you want 6,000. And this increases your power for every jungle minion camp that you kill. Each one of them in there gives you 0.75 power. And you can stack this a maximum of 35 times. And I did the math on it a while ago. I don't remember what it is now. It's somewhere around 25-ish attack power at full stacks. And after you get the full 35 stacks, you gain 200 hit points. So that's nice. And you already have 10 power with this card, so you're looking at 35 attack damage just on this card. It's a very early game card too. Next card you're going to focus on getting is your heavy hitter. It's alright to use these while you're waiting for your final point, your 8th point I should say, to get this one. And then of course you will be focusing on your Shatter Golem. So your basic attacks have a 20% chance to deal 100% bonus damage. And I can tell you late game with this right here, critical hits, basic attacks have a 9.2% chance to deal 46% bonus damage. Late game, you're going to kill people with just these 3 cards. However, there's an alternative to building this deck. You always want to keep this card. Don't ever throw that one out. Just don't. Just don't. What you will do, it will be up to you on which one that you want to keep, depending on what level you're at when you happen to do this. But I would highly advise that you use a Hellfire Engine if you have it. It gives you 100 attack damage, but you lose that attack damage if you die with this card, okay? So don't die with the card. Excuse me here for a minute. But, yes, alright, so you want this card, and you want this card. Now, it's your choice to either save 7,000 after you get this one, and then get this. It will give you an extreme edge on early ganks. I mean, that's 100 basic damage. So the only drawback is, like I said, if you die, you lose this card and you're out 7k gold that you could have been using to spend in your gem trees. All right, so that's the only drawback. So you want to pick and choose your ganks, and you want to make certain that you're going to get the gank. And the best way to make certain that you're going to get a gank in this game as a jungler is to pay attention to the health bars and see how far they're pushed. If they're pushed more than halfway past their lane and they're up by your guy's tower, take the river route, come up behind them, and then make them pay for it. This card will pay off. And then once you have enough to get this card, and you have this card, it increases your basic damage by 15%. This gives you 100 basic damage. And it's not even calculating how much your basic damage is already. So say, and I don't know the numbers per se, but say at level 10 you already have 100 basic attack damage. We're going theoretically here. And then you have this. And then you happen to get this. So you're already at 200 and, alright, so you're at 100 and, no, you're at 200, alright. So, 15% of 100 is 15. So you're going to double it because that's the number that we're working with. We're working with 200 now. You'd be at 230. Yeah, that's a pretty nice chunk to be taken out of somebody. In late game, of course, yes, you want your Shatter Golem. And let me go over the gems in this deck here real quick. You got the Jungle Assassin. It gives you a little more damage to your jungle minions while you're in there. 2% more basic damage for every 10% of the enemy hero is missing health. Your lifesteal. Now this is optional. Personally, I like to have some lifesteal. You could, in fact, go with Mana Generator and restore your mana each time you land a basic attack, but I do not. And you could also take an ADC into the jungle. You could. And you'd be clearing your camps a whole lot faster. But I usually don't do that. I have yet to do that anyway. I might do it sometime, just to test it out. Next thing we have in here is basic attacks ignore 18.4% of the enemy's basic armor. And I chose that over this because I wasn't really interested in proc attacking with this one. It would be nice, but that's every 5th attack. And it's not every attack after you do an ability, so. And then of course we have our critical hits. Put out that extra damage. Okay, now let's go to here's another one that I made. It's interesting because depending on who you're playing as a support, this can work out quite nicely. I in fact have played Kalari even as a support, and mainly to do the damage. Now what you would want to do in this deck here would be, of course, to get your stealth, but your first cards that you will be getting will be your gold income. This you can take at least one guaranteed minion wave out of each minion wave, or one minion out of each minion wave. You're definitely gonna want to get this Apex Predator. Now, originally I built this deck with Chimera, and let's see how many stacks can you get on this. 30 times. So it's just slightly less powerful than the jungle card that I just went over. Just slightly less powerful. Just a little bit. However, the more attack damage, the better. And the only thing I could think of that would be worse than having a Chimera support that is just going to shred you if you fuck up at all is a Chimera support that you have no idea where they're at. And a Kalari that can do a double stealth, that's really mean. That's dirty. And then we got a Dot. Deal 80 damage per second to the target enemy hero for 14 seconds. This damage cannot kill the target. Now, there is another card, which I do not have in here, but I will certainly go and find it before I stop this video. And we will talk about that for a moment, because I was watching a steal just absolutely obliterate people. And then, of course, your choice between these two cards here for late game. ability hits on enemy heroes, increase your damage against that hero by 5% for 10 seconds, and this effect can stack up to 8 times. And then we have Creeping Death, or Grinning Spectre. Launch a slow-moving projectile that deals 350 true damage. If this brings the target below 20% max health, they're executed. Yeah. Very nice card to have. Automatic execution, very much so like the execution on a minion. You can automatically execute a player. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is look for that other card that I think it was this one. No. Here it is. Create a link between with an enemy hero. Both heroes take 8% max health and ability damage per second. Continues until the link is broken by distance or interrupts. Now I was watching a Steel literally kill my opposing ADC, and he would chase him down with this. And yeah, it was just dirty, is what it was. And the damage you can kill them with. This card, however, you can't. You can bring them almost to death, but you can't kill them with it. This one you can. So you're probably asking yourself, well, Exit, why don't you have this card in there? Well, I didn't even know about that card when I first made this deck, to be perfectly honest. However, I have seen its use. This card right here is a very good card to have. And as a matter of fact, I think we will put that in there, just for fun. Okay, and I'll go over the gems with this one. Auto health potion, you're gonna need it, and an auto mana potion, you're gonna need it. Deadly mana, of course. More mana means more abilities. Spell burn, ruthless spells, and empowered attacks. So you get the proc on that. Okay, and I think that's going to sum it up for right now, guys, on the decks that I would like to show you. I'm showing them to you because I enjoy playing the game and I enjoy winning. Each time I use those decks, I win. For the most part. I mean, I can't control every teammate I have on my team. What I can control is what I do for my team. As a support, as a jungle. You know, and even as a solo laner. But anyway, guys, I hope you like the decks. Go ahead, try them out. Tell me what you think. Like, subscribe, and have an awesome day.